Okay.
Abrázame toda la noche, no nos queda mucho tiempo más. No quiero perder lo que queda. Seguimos siempre la pasión y confiamos solo en el amor. Yeah. No quiero perder lo que queda. Y más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad hasta que me convierta en rayos. Y más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad y más encontrando vida en el camino, melodías que no hemos tocado y yo no quiero descansar. Resuena por la pared creando una canción. No quiero perder el ritmo y más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad hasta que me convierta en rayos. Y más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad y más crucemos el número en solo un trueno de horizontes. Seremos miles. Crecemos en número en solo un trueno de horizontes. Seremos miles. Más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad hasta que me convierta en rayos. Y más allá. A través de la gran oscuridad y más
Feel uninvited. Left home in West LA. I'm not excited. So uninspired. On my way to play the bay while you're alone. This girl's a wonder. She loves me, yeah. She needs to know I love her. I wonder if we'll make it through this summer. Just wanna touch like back when we were younger. Yeah. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more.
When he's around, my problems seem like double. His stupid eyes put me on ice, so no, no. Don't slow me down, don't wanna do this solo.
Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. I can't help myself, you're a drug to me. I just can't get enough. I know this is love, so come close to me while we're still young. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Why don't you love me, love me, love me? Touch me, touch me, touch me no more. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me. Love me, love me, love me. Touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me. Tryna get my attention, tryna get your redemption. But now that I'm gone, you want me back. Yeah, I gave you everything, gave you a diamond ring to watch it fall from your head. I don't wanna love again, 'cause I'll be living with regret. I don't wanna love again, 'cause I'll be living with regret. And I don't wanna love again, 'cause I'll be living with regret. You came back to me, I don't trick or treat, don't knock on my door. Don't want you no more. You broke me, and I don't wanna see you, and I don't wanna see you again. Now just trying, oh, don't deny the fact that there's never lasting. I played the game but lost the bet.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so here we go, second attempt at the stream, and hopefully everything works as it should. Yeah, we're just trying to see. I don't know what the deal is, yo, but anyway. hopefully it you know, it all runs smoothly and so on and such and what. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. you know, hopefully,
Yeah.
the stuff, you know, would be running a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
So that is the idea. Yeah, so due to the fixes that I've applied to the stream, yeah, we won't necessarily be having any replays.
Feels bad, man.
Unfortunate, but oh well. Yeah. All right, but anyway, we've got people in the lobby. Let's see. I've got a random player in once again, and we're about to hit the start buttons. Let's yeah, I think let's kick this guy out.
Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this game.
There we go. So the room has started. Oh, someone didn't download the map.
Oh no!
Wop, wop, wop.
It wasn't me, was it?
No. Fortunately,
Yes,
it wasn't.
this time. Unfortunately, all right. I see how it
No,
is.
I
see how it
said.
is.
Fortunately, it wasn't.
Okay.
Mr. Patchy, not listening
Yeah, I don't know.
to the sounds. Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see what the chat says about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, let's get into this match and have a look at who we've got in the lobby. So as you can see, here we are where we are. Now the players, of course, in slot 2, they're being the Immortalz. Over in slot 3, we've got the players there from DKGaming. In 4, we've got the players there from, well, DarkSide, which is, well, strange. But anyway, we've got Complexity over in slot 5. In 6, we've got the team there from Rescue. We've got the players from the YSLMOB over in 7. We've got EFX over in slot 8. In 10, we've got the players there from Quiet Storm. In 11, we've got Alpha Pack. We've got T8, of course, over in slot 12. In 14, we've got the players there from BV Bravo. In 16, we've got the team from LIMITLESS. In 17, we've got the players there from LxsT. Then, of course, in 18, we've got the player there from the Martians B. In 19, we've got the players from 6ix9ine. In 20, we've got the team from Alpha Pack 2. In 21, we've got the juniors. And then, of course, over in 22, we've got the players there from BOKO.
Yeah. All right. So pretty interesting. Yeah, we got a nice lineup here. We saw some very interesting fighting happening on the previous in the previous round, and this time around we're going to be on a nice big old map with lots and lots of space. So there's even more space now, which means that this is pretty much the best or the biggest time for somebody to step up. We saw EFX do a really, really good job of that in the previous one. They did some seriously nice rotation, some good aggression, and they put in some serious kills. And, well, let's see if they can do that here this time around again, or if another team will maybe step up. We're waiting to see if that does happen. Of course, that flight path going down there from the south all the way to the north, shifting a little bit to the western side, but mostly the teams will be able to drop wherever they like.
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. And yeah, a lot of teams now, of course, busy making their way across this map. You can see the Immortalz right there with the players from LIMITLESS over in Chumacera. And we've got a few contenders now, of course, moving up in towards Picado, and a few other teams heading up in towards San Martin as well.
Yeah, what I like to see is that there's a team that decided to drop down in Los Higos. They're on the island just towards the south. Very nice.
Yeah, well, so let's see what happens. I mean, yeah, so a lot of potential action, of course, right here between the Immortalz and this team that we've got here from LIMITLESS. So let's see, will they be able to pull this off?
Ooh. Look at the zone. That is a very interesting zone.
That is indeed a very interesting zone. All the way over in that southwestern corner.
Yeah, and it includes the island. So, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All these teams will have to make their way down. And there's a lot of them up in the north. Lots and lots of teams.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see now with all these teams having to rotate down in towards that zone, you know. Maybe we'll see a few teams setting up a bit of a gatekeeping on the edge of that zone. Maybe, you know, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. So you never know. at this point, we're just going to have to wait and see if the teams do decide to make their way down very quickly, because obviously the map is pretty big. So it's a pretty decent distance to cover to get in towards that zone. Thankfully for them, that first blue zone obviously taking its time. So, nothing to worry about just yet. But the teams will definitely have to make that decision sooner rather than later. As you can see, for the moment, we've pretty much got a decent setup from most of the teams inside the zone. A couple of teams sitting relatively close to one another. 2 teams, obviously, in Chumacera, 2 in Picado. We've got a couple of teams in the north also sitting relatively close to one another. But, yeah, we've yet to see the fights break out.
Yeah, and we've got a few people, well, a few people.
Yeah.
Mr. Martians B, well, Mr. Demon King there, slowly but surely moving up to Reborn now. He's going to try and jump the wall. Shots flying in, right in towards him. Down he goes. So the players here from 6-9, of course, now having that whole area to themselves. No one there to contest it. Now they can just go about their looting in peace. No one really there to worry about. But in the meantime, we are seeing a lot of teams up over in the Oasis, as well as the players here from Active Gaming and T8 now just battling it out right here at the water treatment site. Shots, of course, now flying in all directions. Well, there we go. T8 now just rolling off. Let's jump up into the area here, right there in, of course, this being the Oasis. You see Complexity about to get a nice little visit there from the 2 players we've got from DarkSide.
Yeah. I do not know where that's happening.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, great. This map is too big for me. I'm not used to seeing this. But yeah, there it is. Okay, so some shots going to be flying off at the moment. BOKO going to be putting them in.
Yeah, Zeus getting hit in the process there. So we got Mahir now moving up. Arbaz right behind him. Ibros not too far away. Now let's see, will Mr. Skur be able to get any of those hits in? As they're now trying to just put a few shots in. But some of those shots also, of course, now flying over towards the players that we got there from the DarkSide team.
Yeah, so BOKO putting those hits in, moving their way up, putting a little bit of pressure on towards Complexity. Of course, DarkSide are going to be there as well to put some shots across, just make things a little bit uncomfortable for the team there. All these teams need to rotate. That is the ultimate sort of known thing at this point. And really the question is, when are they going to do it? So teams have to decide if they're going to resolve their fight or if they're just going to retreat out of there, try and make their way down. And oftentimes we see the sooner the better. So these teams obviously don't want to drag it out for too long. So we'll see what it is they decide to do in terms of resolving some of the fights that are going on now in the north.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. This northern area getting a little bit crowded now as these 3 teams now start making their way up towards each other. Ooh, the Immortalz also putting a quick few hits in down over in Chumacera. So let's quickly just jump over into Chumacera just to see what's happening between these players as the shots now start flying back and forth. There we go. The Immortalz really trying to put those hits in. So we've got 2 teams busy battling it out over here in the south. And then, of course, three teams up in the north. The shots now just flying back and forth. Waiting to see who's going to do what, where, and when.
Yeah, and it's nice to see a couple of those early battles happening, just knocking those players out. You can see the Immortalz now putting those hits in to LIMITLESS. Just, really making it a little bit difficult for them to exist in this area here. And maybe they don't want to contest it because it's looking very, very difficult to push past the Immortalz. Meanwhile, in the north, BOKO going to still be putting those hits in. Yeah,
you can see the teams really going at it all over the place. So now just waiting to see the Immortalz closing in on LIMITLESS. Up they come. We got Mr. Rasla now trying to move up to get that res in. We got Hamzy all alone in the building here, and the team from the Immortalz are closing in on him.
Oh,
so let's see. Ooh, BOKO getting a few more hits in the kill feed. Mr. Skur goes down. Down goes and yet another player from Complexity. So we are, still on 16 teams, 55 still alive. Ready to see whether or not these numbers are going to change. Down goes Hamzy. The Immortalz now just pushing in, getting those hits in one after the other. Wowzers.
Yeah, the Immortalz just turning the heat up just a little bit, putting the hits in. There goes Lovka at the moment. Immortalz just trying to close out this fight. They still have all their players remaining. A couple of low healths, but otherwise still okay for the moment. Still got to put those rest of the hits in towards the final remaining players there from Limitless, of course, which they are two, Razzler and Lovka. Of course, Razzler being the ones to try and escape the onslaught.
What a hit, though. I mean, taking down two of the players from the Immortalz, and then so he'll just pops around the corner just to finish it off. That was a crazy, crazy play, though. Well done. Beautiful defense there by them. Yeah.
Ultimately, Immortalz going to come out on top of that one. BOKO actually also coming out on top of their fight with Complexity. And now we're left with those 15 teams on the board, 52 players. And the Blue Zone has decided to make its way in, start pushing those teams up. And now they have quite a distance to travel to get in towards that zone. And, well, luckily for them, there's at least a little bit of space for them to get up into.
Yeah. Well, we can see the players here from Alpha Pack 2, of course, not just there on the edge, trying to put those hits in over towards EFX as they now start and rotate up right past them. So hopefully, maybe we could see some more action flying in between these teams as, you know, everyone's, of course, now just trying to get the action and get those shots going. All right, so EFX on the roll. Ooh, we got the players here from Rescue. Right there in El Paso. EFX now moving up right towards them. And then, of course, on that eastern edge of that zone, we are seeing the players there from Quiet Storm 6-9, as well as the players there from the LxsT team. Slowly but surely getting closer and closer. But, of course, this being the Miramar map, you know, the distance is not what it seems.
Yeah, when we say closer and closer, it's like closer and closer and closer, but like it's still far away, you know, like there's still a pretty decent distance between the teams. And it's only really once they're sitting right on top of each other does it really mean that they are, in fact, coming in towards one another. And, well, it is going to be EFX moving down. They're going to be sitting on the one side of El Paso. Rescue going to be okay. Nothing really pushing them out of position at the moment. They are right on the edge of zone as well, so there's not too much of a problem there. The rest of the teams now making their way down in from the north, trying to get themselves into that zone, because of course there are quite a number of players that still need to do that, and it would appear that we have our first fling, which is great to see. That's just christening the match for us here, you know, officiating it and all that fun stuff as the teams just try and rush up into the zone. And a lot of that zone really unoccupied at the moment, and that team down there from, who is it? I'm not too sure what that team is, but I mean, down in the south there on that island, they've been sitting there quite happily. Absolutely no one has challenged them, and it doesn't look like anyone will anytime soon.
Yeah, that of course being the players there from the YSLMOB.
Of course.
The team over in Los Higos, all the way down in that south. The team with no name, whose name can't be pronounced just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That's the one we're busy watching. So everyone now, of course, busy making their way around. You can see Alpha Pack 2 just on the move, closing in right behind the players here from BOKO as they're now starting to move up. Let's see, will they be able to get those shots in? Oh, there we go. It's getting very, very close. Shots now starting to fly up. Will Alpha Pack make it? No, down they go. Oh, Seroshin gets knocked out. Mr. Holgan Power now just trying to roll up in towards that zone, trying to get into where he needs to go. No time to stick around and wait for the wounded players. I mean, that blue zone is moving in, so the best plan, yeah, would obviously be to get, you know, get back up into the zone.
Yeah, trying to survive is probably the best call they could make at the moment, especially since now all the teams, they didn't rotate earlier on, which means now they're really scrambling. You can see Holgan even just smashing into a tree, giving a bit of a hug there before he moves on. You know, this is pretty much a direct result of the fact that none of the teams decided to move up any earlier, which means that any teams in front or behind you are going to just put the hits in as you come across. So all these teams, a lot of them really exposed as they try and make their way down, trying to push in towards that zone, really just waiting for the last moment to do so before really doing anything. It's sort of like typical high school sort of vibes right now. You know, you just wait till the last minute to do anything.
Yeah, so we're waiting to see what these teams are going to do and who's going to pull in that last minute action. I mean, we've got Quiet Storm 6-9 as well as the players there, of course, from the LxsT team now, slowly but surely making their way up in towards that zone. Quiet Storm being the first one from that group of 3 that we've got there, slowly but surely closing in. And now, of course, the T8 players are still caught out in that blue zone, sitting there, not moving up just yet. Well, I'd rather call it a bit of a pink zone or purple, sorry, as it's a red and blue combined. So, yeah, that might turn out to be quite challenging for them to get through.
Yeah, and another thing that's challenging to get through, I mean, the blue zone is challenging enough. Having the red zone on top of that is going to be difficult enough. All these teams now managing to rotate in, and it's actually going to be Alpha Pack that are moving now down in towards that purple zone. We'll see if it takes them out. And we get some squishing with the cars here. Just going to be running rampant across the map as now the Immortalz going to be taking a fight here with the Bravo.
Yeah, well, bravo to bravo. You know, we'll see what's going to happen. And those shots, oh, just ringing up, Mr. Tree Boy. That one, the one that Mr. Wally is focusing on. Let's see, will they be able to get some more hits in? We got Chicken Joe right there on the side. So Bravo, of course, down to their last 2. Mr. Willis. I see what you did there. I actually just caught it. Oh, Quiet Storm now getting hit as well. The players there from 6-9 putting in those hits. The Immortalz putting some more hits right over towards the Bravo team. Oh, there we go. Down goes Mr. Tree Boy, that guy. Yeah, the one that just got knocked. Quiet Storm, of course, also just engaging with 6-9 right off in the distance here. Let's see if we can get in on some of this last bit of action. Down goes Hexor. Ooh, well played. So the players there from 6-9 taking them down, sending them right back into that lobby where they came from. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, another team's making their way down into the zone, trying to get towards the center point of that zone. You can see a couple of teams just centered around that point of EFX, of course. We've got BB Bravo. We've got the Immortalz now still firing those hits in, just absolutely annihilating the team there from BB Bravo.
Yeah, well, Mr. Chicken Joe getting sent back into the lobby, and up comes the Immortalz closing in. Willis 2 is now on the move. We got Tri-Boy right there with him. Let's see, will they be able to fend off the onslaught of these players as they now try and move up? Or will they get sent into that lobby? The Immortalz, of course, putting up quite a fight today.
Yeah, I mean, they did so well on the first map. You know, obviously they're wanting to continue that streak, put some points in, make sure they're sitting quite happily for the second map here. And, well, they're looking to continue to put those points on the board. There goes Willis. Going to be taken down. The rest of the teams making their way in. The Immortalz looking to reposition themselves once again, get themselves set up in the zone as that blue zone starts to close in. And that new zone will be chosen momentarily.
Well done to the Immortalz taking down the team there, and off they go, adding those kills to their kill count. They're already sitting on 7 kills. We have the DarkSide players also now just rotating up right behind the players there from Alpha Pack. Once again, we've got another team sitting, of course, right there in that purple zone, the red and blue combo. Yeah, well, let's see. Will Mr. Mad Knight and Silence be able to make it up? Will they make it up? Well, they got into zone safely. Now comes the big part. Will they be able to finish off the last little bit of it? As they still have a little bit of distance to cover to get up in towards that zone. But BOKO, however, on that northern side, fairly close in Miramar terms to the players there from Alpha Pack.
Yeah, just going to be putting a couple of hits in the moment. Now we're just waiting for the teams to really sort themselves out inside the zone. Of course, EFX going to be sitting here on the pretty much in the middle once again. They did a pretty decent job of getting quite a few kills on the board in the previous map, but this time around, you know, haven't really put the same amount of kills in. In fact, they don't really have any at this point, but maybe they'll be focusing a little bit more on those placement points going into this one.
Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, there's a lot of potential for a lot of action to happen in this part of the map. I mean, I keep on wanting to say, look, we've got this team fairly close to that team, and then I remember we are on a Miramar map, so there's quite a lot of distance in between them, so I just keep quiet when it comes to that. But we are, in fact, seeing the players here from LxsT putting those hits right into one of the juniors, Mr. Soulman, just flying up the hill. The remainder of the squad, of course, just over towards, well, the east. So maybe, you know, they might get sent off.
Yeah, we will see, because right now all the teams need to rotate down. You can see that zone is shifted all the way towards the southeast. They're going to have to make their way down in there. A lot of teams concentrated towards the north and the west. They're going to have to make their way down. And, well, the zone is still not small enough to really make the teams uncomfortable. So the fact that we have 13 teams left remaining means that there's still a pretty decent room for maneuverability at the moment. The teams, they have some space.
Yeah, a little bit of space. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want. And that's what you get in, you know, by the buckets full on this map. You know, the teams all over the place. Loads and loads and loads of space, and it takes some time before these teams actually start, you know, bumping into each other. So, yeah, we're just waiting now to see where our last 13 teams will then start moving towards, if they're going to make it up in towards that zone. And, yeah, I mean, our team that we had right down in the south there, the YSLMOB, you know, they've eventually decided to rotate up, but we've got the team here now from 6-9, slowly but surely closing in on the juniors.
Yeah, we'll see if 6-9 can come out on top of this one. I'm not too sure if they can. The juniors obviously having put a pretty decent amount of damage on the board in the past, so they might just be a little bit difficult to knock off the pedestal, especially with two teams approaching from behind as well that could potentially run into them and cause a little bit of trouble. So most of the teams now moving their way down those main roads in towards the zone, just following the road all the way in and hopefully getting themselves spots.
Ooh, here comes DarkSide. Let's see. Oh, no, okay, so they're just passing right past the players here from 6-9, but we've got Rez now putting in a few shots as the engagements now start happening across the map. There we go. So rescue to the rescue, putting those hits into the Alpha Pack team as they try and just to get past them. But of course, that only being one of the players. The remainder of the squad now up on the hill, as you can see just off in the distance there. There we go.
Yeah. So we've just got the players from the Alpha Pack. They're obviously rotating out. Don't want to take a fight against Rescue at the moment. They just want to get themselves into zone. They might be meeting a little bit of resistance, but ultimately at the moment, everyone's just trying to get into that zone, trying to set themselves up for what will be proving to be the next few zones, being those final few zones, of course, as we're heading towards the end point of the map. We've got a couple of teams in the middle there, obviously EFX, we've got Immortalz, and of course the DKGaming there as well, and they could potentially be putting some hits in at the moment.
Well, MFB just trained his barrel right there on Daryl and put those shots in, and off he goes right back into that lobby. Now we've got Mr. Ted Bundy and Meatballs still left, just hiding behind the shack. The Immortalz being absolutely relentless, but also now EFX just sneaking up right behind them. Umar and MFB now getting a little bit of their own medicine there. We got Wally and Sahil moving up. Sahil gets that hit in on Ted Bundy. Meatballs now being the last one left. EFX also now just closing in and putting quite a bit of a hurt into the Immortalz. Now, yeah, DKGaming trying to hide, and they are getting caught from all angles. The shots just flying in. Man. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, this is a really, really tough one, and we've got some more shots now just coming up there from the LxsT team. Oh, down they go. LxsT finishing them off, landing those final few hits, sending the Immortalz off, and yeah, lobby it is for them. Wow, look at the zone.
Yeah, it's fallen all the way in the middle there, forcing the teams in closer and closer together to make these fights happen. You can see 6-9 obviously taking quite a bit of damage there. Few shots just flying off this way and that way from Alpha Pack as well, amongst each other, should I say, at least. Then the rest of the teams trying to push their way on in. EFX going to put some aggression in the Alpha Pack. Still fighting. T8 now making their way in. It's the zone going to be a little bit crowded towards the north.
Yeah, well, we just saw some awesome stuff here from Mr. Awesome. He did some great work there. Managing to stay alive with almost 0 health. Gets a quick hit in on Waza. Zeke, now the last one left. Let's see, will he finish it off? Is he going to move in and trying to get those hits? No, down he goes. Zeke sends him off. Alpha Pack 2 getting sent back by the players there from Alpha Pack.
Yeah. Very interesting resolution to that one. And now we've got the teams up in the northern portion of the zone just to try and take some battles there, but just potentially fight for their spots. You can see Meatballs taking a bit of damage there, just getting shot at from a couple of sides. But lots of space inside the zone. Interesting that the teams haven't really colonized any of that space, really got up into there. They're mostly just concentrated around the northern portion.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, as there's quite a few teams right up ahead of Mr. Meatballs here. We got BOKO just below. Oh, my hair just flying off. There we go. Shots flying in. That would have been pretty cool had he got that shot in. But Meatballs now still just trying to land those last few hits. And EFX now starting their fight here with the players, of course, from the LxsT team.
Yeah, BOKO going to be just moving in there, trying to put some hits in towards TA, of course. Teams making their way up. A couple of teams now moving in towards the southern portion of the zone there, so at least we're going to be seeing a little bit of that space utilized at the moment. There's still a pretty decent amount of space between the teams. You know, despite this being one of the final zones, obviously this map quite large, so there's plenty of space here, but there's also a lot of good angles in towards a lot of the teams. You know, they have a lot of height advantages and whatnot that can be utilized here. And T8 trying to put it in here. Meatballs coming in out on top of them as well to maybe get in from behind. Obviously T8 trying to put some shots in towards Alpha Pack. BOKO going to be just towards the south as well. You can see the shots now flying off in towards BOKO. The rest of the teams just rotating in, setting themselves up inside that zone. Oh, BOKO going to be returning fire as well.
Yeah, well, some pretty good shots that we just saw flying up there. And let's see, will Mr. Meatballs get any of those hits in? He is now coming up with a beautiful, sneaky third-party move right on the players here from T8 because they've got all their attention focused on the teams just up ahead. So let's see, will they be able to clutch it? Will we see some hits? Will that action be there? Or, oh, there we go. So Meatballs sneaks up but gets shot. Well done, Mr. Biscuit, risking it. And obviously it paid off for them.
Right. So anyway, that zone going to be rotating up towards the southeast. Now the teams making their way up, pushing in towards the zone, of course. Plenty of the teams just slowly putting the hits in to try and maneuver their way in towards the zone. Rescue going to be moving up. You can see a lot of the teams just trying to position themselves in a good spot, especially now that all the teams have really gotten some side pictures in towards one another. You can see really just trying to put the hits in and capitalize on the fact that these teams need to rotate now.
Oh, well, let's see how this unfolds. Mr. Soulman off on the side there, trying to land. Oh, some hits on the DarkSide. Shots now still flying in. Soulman, I think, might be the last one. Yes, he is indeed. Pura Junior, of course, getting taken down. So Soulman, the last hopeful for the junior team. Up comes Silence, and that is all Mr. Soulman hears is Silence as he is now sent right back into that lobby. Let's quickly jump over here to Mr. Hitler and Co. As Rez now just move up to finish them off. Over they go. Done, and BOKO just putting a few more hits in. Mahir, the last lone survivor for the team here, managing to, you know, do a bit of damage to the Mojo.
Yeah, now we have EFX up here and towards the northern portion of that zone, trying to put some hits into the players there from T8, and of course a couple of the surrounding teams as well. Off towards the west, we've got BOKO and of course Rescue, who are now taking some fight as well. And EFX actually going to be popping up and just putting in a couple of third parties as well, just to make it a bit more difficult.
Yeah, and there's a lot of action as these teams now start making their push up into the zone. Alpha Pack trying to sneak up on the side there. Ooh, Mahir doing quite a bit of damage. Really putting those hits in right over towards the players here from Rez. Let's see, will he be able to land those finishing blows? Untamed right there on the side. There we go, going in for the first hits after hit. and Untamed going off the hinges there, putting those hits in and just sending them right back into the lobby. There's a lot of action, of course, though, up on this hill. The players here from LxsT now just putting in hit after hit, trying to keep the players from T8 from coming into that zone. And of course, also trying to put a few hits into the players here from EFX, as they are all like right on top of each other here.
Yeah, this is a tight spot to be in. These teams are really, really close, trying to pop the smokes and play around them for cover. But right now, EFX just putting the hits in, not letting any of these teams escape.
Oh, and Mr. Agony is the last one left in Agony. Let's see, will he make it? EFX putting those hits in, landing, and oh, lobby it is for them. Alpha back now, also still going at it, trying to find this angle on the team here from Rez as they're trying to move in. Shots flying up in all directions. Down goes Mr. Trigger, well, just sliding down the hill. Let me just clarify what I meant with that one.
Yeah. Just a little bit of clarity needed on that one.
Yeah, well, Alpha back doing a pretty good job, you know, just rotating, you know, down the hill. One last player there from 6-9 left from what we can see. He's just trying to move about. Ooh, EFX putting those hits into the dark side. Mr. Mad Knight now, well, here's the last hope for left. Let's see, will he be able to sneak that res in on time? Here we go. So the players from 6-9, of course, now getting sent back into that lobby. Alpha pack very, very close still to the players there. Mr. Trigger going down. Zeke just waiting on the bottom side. Let's see, will they move in? They are trying. Up comes the hits. Oh, and lobby it is. 3 teams now left in this game, that being DarkSide, EFX, and Rescue. So
this is a difficult spot. This is a really difficult spot.
Up comes Sully. Mad Knight goes down. Oh, what a play by Sully. And yeah, just like that, it is now up to Mr. Silence here. Let's see, will he be able to get it? Oh, loads of shots all over the place. It's the final countdown
here, I think. Yep, there it is. Done and dusted. That was a really difficult spot. As soon as that rotation came in, Rez went to take out Alpha Pack, which was a good hunt there. They took them down. But then as they came down that side of the hill, EFX was like right at the top towards the north. They were able to rotate down like a giant blanket. And the fact of the matter is that blue zone was pushing Rescue in, which means that as soon as they were forced with their backs towards the blue zone, they had to make their way up. And well, EFX just took complete control of the situation, wiped them out. And then of course it was just a matter of taking down Silence. And well, that wasn't too difficult considering there was only one player versus everyone else.
Yeah, no, that was definitely quite the challenging match there. And yeah, well done to all these teams, of course, you know, making it all the way, and especially to EFX, managing to get themselves that lovely, lovely chicken dinner there. You're just playing with your hair now. hair, you'll be okay.
Yeah, it's because when I look down, then all my hair goes...
But yeah, I mean, we got some crazy kill counts there as well. The team there from EFX, of course, finishing their playoff, coming in with 14 kills. We've got DarkSide coming in with 2 kills in second place. Rez finishing their playoff with 7 in third place. And then, as we saw on the screen, also, you know, some interesting kill counts as we make our way down the list. But yeah, nonetheless, well done to the teams, especially in this last zone, as you mentioned. You know, it was quite challenging, and yeah, I mean, the slightest little mistake could really, you know, throw things out of the window in a sense.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult to rotate in that zone. That blue zone really ruthless, pushing the teams up. They didn't really have much time to react. And, well, EFX, they were looking for the chicken dinner, and they finally got it. So, yeah, well done to them. And I'm interested to see the rest of the remaining matches for tonight.
Yeah, well, we've got, 2 more matches to go, so we're just now waiting to see what is going to happen with that. And, yeah, we'll be back shortly, seeing that, yeah, we don't have any more problems here with video and such, so the stream's going to run straight through. Well, straight through. Awesome. All right, so without any further ado, we're just going to jump straight into the intermission screen, seeing that Well, yeah, we don't have any replays at the moment, but yeah, oh well. Here we go.
Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. Let's let go. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. I just wanna be happy.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the hole closest starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. Let's free fall. Let's free cliche. I see the sparks you throw my way. I know your name is written on everyone's mind. Your whole show is captivating me, but don't think that I can see right through that disguise. But when you got close to me, you had me falling so hard.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so here we go, getting started with the third round for today. Batchy, it's been pretty tough so far, hey?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've seen some interesting stuff happen. Immortalz and EFX being two of the big players, of course, so far out of the two matches that we've seen coming out on top. They've been putting in some good work, I think, pretty much across the board here. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if they continue that sort of pacing, if we see them continue to put some kills on the board, continue to get up there in those top slots, or if somebody else will step it up this time around and, you know, get their own kills in, get to that top, you know, who knows. But what we do know is, of course, we're going to be on that map, that Miramar map once again. So we're going to be seeing a lot of slow, passive play, probably. No one doing anything crazy, lots of big open space. So hopefully we see some teams getting really, really aggressive.
Yeah, well, we'll find out soon enough. As you can see, the teams there, of course, being the Immortalz once again over in slot 2, EfX in slot 3. We've got the players from Complexity over in 5. We've got Rescue over in slot 6. Then, of course, we've got the players there from the YSLMOB over in slot 7. EFX in 8. We've got the team from the Liberators, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Over in slot 9 there. We got Quiet Storm in slot 10. We got the players there from Alpha Pack in 11, T8 in slot 12, DarkSide in slot 14. We got Bravo in 15, Limitless in 16. We got the team from LxsT over in 17, Alpha Pack in 20. Then we got the Juniors over in 21 and BOKO over in slot 22.
Yeah. Yeah, and that flight path going all the way from the north down to the south. Once again, plenty of spots for these teams to drop, nothing too crazy, but unfortunately no island. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens when the zone shifts, and we've seen some interesting few zones over the past 2 games. You know, so we'll see what's going to happen now and where these teams are going to go to, and hopefully, you know, yeah, we might maybe get some island action.
I mean, honestly, I don't really recall in recent memory the last time that I've seen anyone really fight on that island. So if we see that here, I will be not only greatly surprised, but very happy. So that will be interesting. But I doubt that the map is going to give me what I want. It's notorious for just not liking me at all. So yeah, we're just going to see what happens. We're going to see where this map takes us, where that zone goes, and yeah, we'll from there we'll just see where the teams decide to rotate. But for now, we're just going to watch where they drop.
Yeah, drop it like it is hot in some places. And we can see some of the teams there, 2 teams in fact. The Juniors and EFX now pushing up in towards Al Azhar. We've got 2 teams, of course. So, well, sorry, rather, 3 teams moving up in towards the area there at Las Generales. That being the players from LxsT, the team from Limit, and then of course, well, EfX.
Yeah, so a little bit of the early fighting, but this is mostly just over the fact that the teams are dropping close by. You know, they're not really fighting over anything except for the fact that they're dropped nearby and they're sort of in the sights. So they're just pulling the trigger, seeing if they can get some shots off, seeing if they can do some damage. You know, if we see teams getting knocked out early, that'd be great. But yeah, they're just sort of setting themselves up for the moment.
Yeah, and we'll see what they'll be able to do with what they've got here. We've got Mr. Neol, of course, down. Ted Bundy just up ahead. EfX really closing in on the players now, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen. Will they maybe potentially get a few shots in, you know, while we're waiting for yeah, some astronomical action.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to try and sneak it in. That's the only way I could think of doing it.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Patchy is sitting eating Astros. That's what you heard just now. Hence my random comment of the astronomical shots. But EFX now up in Al Azhar putting those shots in. And they are definitely not battling for anything, really. The teams are just starting to push up, and Mr. Pura getting taken down. Agony getting a quick hit in on the EfX as well. So we've got 3 squads right here. Rescue, EFX, and the Juniors. And Juniors are, well, Yeah, not looking too great as EFX is now starting to just rush up into their building. We got Mr. Strom here. Oh, quickly getting that res in. Up comes Mercury, pops the shot, and off they go.
Yeah, they just couldn't pull
Well
the trigger in
done.
time. So
Yep.
EFX gonna come away with that one. We've seen how aggressive EFX likes to be, and they're gonna continue that. But also continuing with the rest of the aggression, looks like the rest of the team's actually gonna be putting up some good fights as well across the board here. So some nice early action that we're seeing here. Very, very cool.
Yep. And I mean, Complexity taking quite a bit of damage here as the team from Bravo starts moving up. Mr. Willis there being able to survive that onslaught. Alpha Pack now getting hit by Rez in the kill feed. Triboy goes down. Willis is the last one left. Let's see, will Skur be able to get those shots in? He's probably a pirate, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Or maybe he's a drifter. Or a rapper.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like a candy rapper, or what kind of rapper?
No, like a skirt, you know, like a.
Up comes Willis, just rushing in after quickly getting the res in on Chicken Joe. So let's see, will Willis get it?
Nope, he's just gonna close the door. He's a man
Well,
with
as
manners.
one does.
Yeah,
As one
yeah.
does. But he
Oh,
leaves
but
that one
he
open.
leaves that one open. What is this?
PUBG.
Yes, you are not wrong on that on that count. You're absolutely not wrong. We'll see if Willis can make it happen at the moment. See, of course, Complexity trying to push in, and he's just rotated around them, so maybe going to throw a little bit of a curveball their way if they're not ready for this this little flank coming up from him.
Well, we'll see what's gonna happen. You know, maybe, potentially. Ooh, Willis sneaking that shot in on Zeus. Just comes thundering down right there on him, bolting around that corner, puts the hit in, and yeah, the action is absolutely electric at this current moment in time. That's all the Zeus jokes I could think of.
Yeah, close enough. It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if Complexity can get this one in here. We'll see if Skur can wrap things up, and is he gonna make it happen? There's shots, and he manages to wrap it up. Indeed, well played.
Yep. No, Mr. Skur. So you were right when you said he's a rapper, because
Yeah.
well, we got the team from Rescue also now moving up in the distance. I mean, yeah, up they come, closing in.
That is a close distance right
Triboy.
there.
What a rush. Willis now the last one left. Will
Yeah,
he
he's in a bit
make
of a
it?
pickle.
Yeah.
Like Complexity's on the one side, Rescue on the other side. Very difficult spot to be in. He could potentially get himself out if he chooses the right time to rotate. Maybe he could put some hits into Rescue, maybe move his way down somewhere, get out of the area. But yeah, being sandwiched in like this is not the greatest spot to be in of all time. Maybe he'll find a way out. But ultimately, at the moment, we're just waiting to see how the rest of the teams move in. Of course, the team's now making their way in towards the zone. Most of them already sitting pretty comfortably in there, and no one really too close except for these teams, of course, here on towards the eastern side of the map.
Oh, well, Willis going at it once again, closing the door behind him as he's now trying to survive. The grains now start flowing up from Rescue. Well, they definitely came to the rescue for the players there from Complexity, as Complexity is now just leaving the area, and Willis is, yeah, well, in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he closes the doors, right? Oh, and a nice, really great. He prepped that one perfectly. He knocks out the teams, but can he continue the rest of the knockouts? He's going to pull around the corner, drive by from him. He's just going to swing, get those hits, and he's doing a really good job. He spots out the next plague, but can he get the hits? It doesn't look like he will.
Man, that was so close, but a beautiful push there by the rescue team coming in to rescue the players from Complexity, saving them for yet another circle. So we'll see what they're going to do, and we're also watching the players there from T8 and Alpha back getting quite close. Well, yet again in the murmur terms.
Yeah.
Teams.
Poor Willis, man. He was so polite. Why did he have to go
Yes.
so soon?
Yeah, well, they politely suggested that he maybe should go to the lobby, and well, he put up a pretty good fight, right, on that, you know,
Yeah.
in his last few final moments,
Yeah.
doing actually doing quite a bit of damage with that shotty. Ooh.
Yep.
Complexity sneaking in some more hits. Mr. Rapper goes down. Let's see, will Zeus and Puppy be able to pull this off? Mr. Agony is the last remaining player, unless of course he can get the res in. Up comes Zeus, flanking up the one side, Puppy coming up the other. Ooh, there we go. Who's gonna get it? Oh, beautiful shots. And the agony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Off to the lobby they go. Hi ho.
Yeah. The Agony is going to find the doors to the lobby closed because, of course, your boy Willis went in before. So they're just going to have to open that up again. And yeah, the rest of this team's now making their way in towards the map. We only have the Alpha Pack moving down from the north. The rest of the team sitting pretty comfortably inside that zone. Nothing too crazy happening at the moment. They're basically just setting themselves up now. You know, doing anything too crazy at the moment would be a little bit difficult. They still have a bit of time before that blue zone comes in. So if they want to get anything in, now is basically the time before that window closes, and they're going to have to wait for the next zone to drop, and then we'll see where they go.
No, well, if the door closes, we know that Mr. Willis was definitely there.
Yeah.
You know, in spirit. So we'll see what's going to happen, how these teams are going to rotate up in towards this next zone. We're waiting for this blue zone, of course, now to start closing in, and it is doing so very, very slowly. You know, bit by bit, it is moving in. And yeah, we are yet to see some more action between the teams, and it seems like everyone aside from Alpha Pack, you know, well, is in zone. So waiting for that team there from Alpha Pack to get their rotation sorted.
Technically, Alpha Pack's also in zone. So,
well, the one Alpha Pack that's not in zone.
Yeah.
Alpha Pack 2 is in zone. That's the team right over there.
Yeah. It's late. I'm tired. I'm eating Astros. And we're waiting for the fights to happen right now. We'll see if TA can do that, of course, right up here with the players from EFX. And we know how hungry EFX can be, so let's see if they can get this dinner.
Well, they are slowly but surely closing in, and oh, Reverb gets hit. Bait and Horus pulls up a U-turn, makes a quick 180. Off they go. Poison now just rushing out, trying to get that thirst in. And does so successfully. Ooh, there we go. Bait and Horus now sneaking up. But, of course, in comes, you know, the shots from Mercury, putting them right up over towards Poison. So let's see, will Poison survive the little battle he's got going here with EFX? Bait on the hill. Oh, no, Poison goes down.
Ooh.
So, Shadow and Biscuit now risking it. Who will get it?
Yeah, EFX doing a really good job here. They seem to win fights quite consistently. They're really good at doing that. And despite the fact that they are a player down, you know, they can still put the hits in, and they're not putting the pressure of the return fire here onto T8 because T8 caught them off guard there in that little drive up from EFX, and they're wanting to get a bit of revenge for that.
Well, let's see what happens. Any action there? We've got the players, of course, from EFX now down to their 3 players, and T8 sitting on 2. So both teams losing 1 player. Now it is the battle for control of the compound here. Not that the players from EFX really wants the compound, but yeah, like I said, they are quite hungry or thirsty. They want them kills.
Yeah, they're hungry and thirsty. They gotta get the thirsts in, and they want the chicken dinner, like. There, aren't you?
Yeah. So they're thungry.
Please don't make that a thing. Yeah. In any case, Southern Zone going to be shifting down towards the south there, of course. Rest of the team's going to make their way in. A lot of teams sitting pretty comfortably in there. Of course, Limitless going to be making their way down. Quiet Storm already inside there. Complexity sitting inside that red zone, just nice and happy there. And Los Leones, of course, the rest of the team's making their way in now. We've got the last remaining players from TH here, just still under fire from EFX. We'll see if EFX can finish this one off before they make their rotate, or if they'll just decide to head it off.
Well, up comes Horus with the crossbow, trying to sneak those silent but deadly hits in, and Mercury finishes it off, putting down the biscuit. And now they move up over towards Shadow. This is not what we want to see. There we go. That's what we want to see. Up comes the whole team. Shadow just waiting on that door. He's got his Uzi ready. Got the camo skin on there as well, just to make sure that it's not visible. Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. So we'll see if Shadow can just hide in the shadows here and maybe just get a couple of surprise shots in as EFX are hunting them down at some nice place Grens, but it's not timed perfectly. Shadow gonna get absolutely caught out, and there goes T8. They're wiped out.
Well, he had a pretty good idea with the grain, just a pity that that he was a little bit late with that execution.
Yeah.
And then, of course, getting executed in turn. So, yeah, well played to EFX. And now we've got the Alpha Pack team rotating up right behind them.
Yeah, they might be in for a bit of a trouble.
Pulls up a handbrake turn. That is the vehicle that EFX was in. The one that they pulled up in. Ooh, now we might even see them blowing up their own vehicle. Well, the one that he came in is now pretty shot. So, but we've got the Waza, Zeke, and Trigger now moving up from the side there.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one now. Effects pushing up. They know where the one player from Alpha Pack is, but they need to catch him out. And right now the hits are coming in. JVD going to be putting them in, surviving around this rock, just dancing around and buying time for the rest of his team to come out for the flag. This could be devastating, but EFX is still putting the hits in.
Oh, this is going to be a very tough one. Horus now, the last hope for left, of course, until he can get that res in on bait. But we see Trigger and Zeke now moving up. Zeke going up for that res on Waza as well. Oh, Horus taking a few hits. He's right there next to JVD. Bait, of course, now also getting res up in the meanwhile. They're waiting to see what is going to happen. Will they be able to clutch it out? Will they get those hits? There we go. Horus just finishing it off quickly with his crossbow, as one does when in a situation like this. Down goes Bait. Trigger putting in those hits. Coming up with that M4 now. You're waiting to see what Mr. Horus is going to do. Will he be able to get a nice crossbow shot in? Or will it be with the Uzi?
He looks like he's prepping the Uzi, but he's taking a couple of shots to the face. The rest of his team now in peril. He's taking so much damage. He's going to be low. They just need to peek him now. This is done. Just one single hit could end it all. And there it is. It's going to come straight in.
Yep. Lobby it is. So well done to the Alpha Pack for taking down the place there from EFX. So now we are left with 12 teams, 36 players still remaining, and well, the teams are quite spread out across the map here, as you can see. We're just waiting now to see who's going to be the next team to move up, who will be putting in those shots, and yeah, who will get the chicken dinner in the end.
Yeah, that really is the question at this point. We're all waiting to see how this one pans out. At the moment, our eyes, of course, falling on, teams like Immortalz, sitting right there in the center of the zone, sitting pretty happy. They've been doing some good work recently. Obviously, they took one of those chickens, so maybe looking to take another one, get some points in. The rest of these teams going to be challenging that spot. Of course, all the rest of the teams want to get the chicken. Everyone wants it, but of course, only one team can have it. And as that blue zone starts to make its way in, all the teams pushing up in towards that zone, ready for the next one to be chosen and for the more rotates to come in. And ooh, Immortalz just defending their position, just taking out anyone who comes close.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty good shot, though. Landing those hits right there, blowing them up. Yep. That is one way to defend your position,
Yep.
Making sure no one can move in while you're in that spot. So yeah, now we're just waiting for the remainder of the teams to make their move up in towards zone. Hopefully they'll give us some action.
Yeah, I'm certain that we will see something like that.
Yep, that is what we are waiting for.
Yeah, Alpha Pack now moving down from the north. You can see they'll probably come into contact with the active gaming squad there. Might just have a little bit of a fight if they don't manage to avoid one another. Of course, that blue zone coming in, doing a bit of damage. And the new zone about to be chosen, it is going to be towards the southeast. All right, so a little bit of the teams already inside there, but most of them having to make their way down just a little bit. Of course, Quiet Storm going to have to shift just a bit. Complexity there just going to have to move down slightly. The rest of the teams up in the north going to have to move down. Alpha Pack making their way in. Active Gaming will have to do that as well. The rest of the teams just have to push in somewhat to get in towards that zone, but it is getting smaller and smaller. We have 11 teams and 34 players left remaining on this board, but interesting to point out that most of the teams that are alive now have a pretty good distribution of players. It's only a couple of stragglers here and there. Complexity, obviously, on 2 members. The active gaming squad on 2 members as well. The players there in slot 7, just 1. And yeah, the rest of the team's just relatively well stacked.
And we've got Quiet Storm, of course, now trying to make their move up in towards Los Leons. The shots flying in there from Limitless right up behind them. So let's see what will happen there. Of course, now closing in. We got Max and Chris right there. We got Mr. Gusty. Oh, there we go. Shots. Shots, 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 and shots.
Yeah, we'll see if Quiet Storm can come out on top of this one. They're just trying to execute their assault. You're moving around here, Limitless. Just trying to play around this little rocky area here to try and throw off the team from Quiet Storm. They're getting the shots in. Gusty going to be taken down. He's going to be hit by a little bit more than wind. And, well, it looks like the rest of the shots not coming in. Quiet Storm feeling the heat at the moment. 2 players knocked already. 2 left standing to try and close this one out. Maybe get some reses in. Hopefully they can hold out for a little bit longer here.
Yeah, well, we'll see what is going to happen. As these teams, of course, now start closing in bit by bit. Quiet Storm trying to get that angle on Limitless right up in front of them here. We got Mr. Razla and Tezuka. I mean, this is where it would have been great if Tezuka could play with a bazooka. Probably the distant cousin.
Yeah, we'll talk to him about his relations at some point, I guess. We'll see how that works out. Of course, the team's not just trying to put those hits in. There comes Tezuka. He puts in the shots. He doesn't need a bazooka. He can just hit the bullets. That's all he needs. Get those shots in. And well, Quiet Storm, they're going to be feeling that one for a little bit.
But just look at this. Your complexity right behind the players here from Liberators, I guess. We've got Quiet Storm and Limitless as well. So 4 teams just parked off in this area.
Yeah, they're playing up the mountain at the moment. Complexity at the bottom, trying to come up here on the LxsT team. And right at the top, of course, we still have Quiet Storm and Limitless fighting. So we're basically fighting all the way up and down this mountain. We'll see how it goes at the moment. Limitless putting in the hits. Complexity trying to do the damage as well. You can see just everyone trying to hit the shots in to wipe out their opponents to get the ground and gain the position. This mountain is a very important part to have. I think it'll be a nice for that Overwatch. So being on the top of this mountain is quite helpful. We'll see who wins it, and maybe the team who wins the piece at the top of this mountain will be able to put the hits in on towards the teams below. Of course, the team there in slot 9 is going to be pulling out a little bit after having defeated the other team there. Now it is just Quiet Storm and Limitless to fight it out, and this battle has lasted quite some time. Quiet Storm managing to survive for this long.
Yeah, we got the players here from Limitless now turning the attention to the team that's, of course, trying to push up the hill. We got Mr. Buxy, Ardle, and King Bear. Oh, down goes Max. Pushing his luck to the max and, of course, getting hit. Limitless now moving up. We can see Alpha Pack now moving in right behind them there. Oh, Razla sneaking in that quick thirst. And there's quite a few teams in this section, but we also see just the edge of the map there. A few teams also right there. Ooh, Razla being super aggro. Not wasting any time. Oh, Zeke coming in from behind as well.
Oh, that's cheeky. Alpha Pack just zooming past, like putting those hits in as they move off towards the zone. Quite a cluster of teams up here towards the northwest. They need to make their way down. The fighting happening all across the mountain. The rest of the teams just making their way in towards the zone. You can see the DarkSide, of course, right there with that loner player from slot 7. And the Immortalz sitting comfortably inside the zone. So right now it's just some fighting up and down this hill continuing.
Yeah, we've got 10 teams remaining now. Let's see, will Mr. Buxy be able to escape? Down goes, oh, vehicle explosion. Yay! Alpha Pack getting that hit in. And Mr. Chris now being the last lone survivor here, just holding on to that side. And we see the team here from DarkSide and Act also just going at each other as well. Ted Bundy being one of the last few remaining players, getting a quick thirst in. Crazy, of course, getting knocked out. And slowly but surely bleeding out, but Ted Bundy, not too worried about him just yet. He's still got okay health. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Nothing too great. Obviously, there are 8 teams remaining, 22 players left alive. There's some resin coming in from Mr. Ted. We'll see if he can just mount a little bit of an attack on these players who are putting the pressure on at the moment. Of course, the players here from whoever this is, DarkSide, there we go. Going to be the ones under fire here. Ted just going to be tossing in a little bit of util to try and put the pressure on. Maybe they can catch out these players here. Going on the hunt, it is the offensive now for Ted. We'll see if he can get those hits in or if he'll be taken down in the process. He spots out one of the players. The shot's coming through, does a lot of damage, but no one knocked just yet. There it is, finally going to be taken out. Silence becomes silenced, and DarkSide are going to be hit, and that's it. Alpha Pack now moving on as well. The rest of the teams need to make their way in towards that zone. And, well, it's getting nice and tight now. We've got 7 teams, 19 players left on the board at this point, and we'll see if the Active Gaming here can maybe take a fight against Alpha Pack as they move up, or if they'll just pass each other by as they settle in towards the zone.
Man, this is going to be tough. We've got 7 teams, 19 players, and, well, after what seems to be quite some time, the zone eventually gets to be, well, much smaller.
Yeah.
The team's really close together. I mean just look at that. It's like, yay, it's like a 400-meter zone now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what the zone does, you know?
Yeah,
it
but
gets
still.
smaller.
Oh, there we go. Some shots now flying in. Limit just doing a bit of damage as they move up towards Shame here. Oh, Shame, down he goes.
Shame.
Back also trying to get a few hits in. Maybe trying to sneak in a little bit of third party there. And we got Mr. Trigger and Zeke now just on the edge. And Alpha Pack now moving up. Well, they're all alone. They heard the shots. Trying to see. But look at the Immortalz. They're setting up this ambush right there on the edge of the zone. So hopefully they'll be able to get those hits in as they're not
they're in
starting
such
to
a good
pick them off.
spot.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
a really...
talk about... Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say that's a really good spot. Like, they've got such a height advantage. They can literally just sit here, wait for the players who have to push up, get the side picture on them, and just put the hits straight across.
Well, we got Mojo next is also just there on the side. Now, if Wally doesn't watch out, you know, he might get hit by, yeah, quite the shot there off of their side.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gotta be careful.
Oh. Jump up to Alpha Pack, Limitless moving in on their position. Oh, Tezuka doing quite a bit of damage there to Zeke. Waza and Trigger, the next one's up. Oh, and they finish it off.
Yeah,
beautifully
so
done.
it's exactly as predicted. Alpha Pack move up, they take him out. And, well, now they have the active gamers here to potentially contend with, who are now just up ahead of them, going in towards that zone. Active gamers actually maybe potentially moving up to just put the hits in. Look at that. Alpha Pack now taking a lot of damage, and unexpected damage at that. That height advantage really coming in clutch at the moment. Immortalz also going to be leveraging their position, trying to stop any of the teams from pushing up. So really utilizing the height advantage here, these players. 6 teams remaining, 13 players left on this map.
Well, and we see the players here from Alpha Pack 2, of course, rotating all the way into towards that southern position. So fortunately for them, they don't have anyone there with them, but also now the Immortalz really using their position, as well as the team here from Rescue, sorry. Putting those hits in. Active gamers a little bit late with their rotation. Crazy getting hit. Mojo just hitting it off. Ted now trying to sneak in a few more shots. Oh, gets it successfully.
Yeah, but is it going to be enough? They're basically trapped here. This blue zone going to be doing so much damage. The Immortalz in a pretty good position at this point. The active gamers now getting knocked out bit by bit as that blue zone starts to push in. We still have a couple of the members from each of the Alpha Packs down towards the south. We have, of course, Quiet Storm moving in from the south as well. We have 5 teams. We've got 9 players, and Immortalz looking to leverage their height position once again. Maybe put those shots in across to the other teams.
Yeah, well, let's see. Maybe they can still pull it off. You know, they are still looking pretty good with their numbers there as well.
Yeah, that's one of the strongest things that we've seen from them time and again. Managed to keep their numbers pretty well high up in those tops, you know, 4 to 5 bits. So they're out here. They got the players. they got the numbers, and right now they just need to leverage their position out here with that little bit of the height advantage that they have with this rocky mountain. And we'll see if they can put the hits in over towards Alpha Pack and Quiet Storm.
Well, they're going up against a whole bunch of solos, aside from Alpha Pack 2 being on 2 players. You know, it's just pretty much solos all around. So maybe they, you know, we could see a few shots, of course, coming in from the solos, but yeah, I think the odds are pretty stacked in favor of the Immortalz.
Yeah, the solos would have to get some pretty good hits in, a couple of knocks, and then really sort of capitalize on, you know, the downed players, maybe make some moves across the map. And that's not something very easy to do, not something easy to coordinate, especially when all the teams are, of course, on different teams. So it looks like Waza actually just going to be going into that blue zone, not really giving any chance for them to take him out. So that's going to be Waza taken off the board. The rest of the Alpha Pack now making his way up. Quiet Storm also right there. And it looks like they're just really being pressured here, and they're not too sure how to respond. It's a very, very difficult situation to be in. Definitely very little things to do on this one.
Yeah, no, they're running out of options. Up comes the Immortalz and shows them what is left to do. Now, of course, Mr. Chris right on the side there, still just holding up in his position. The Immortalz now just running around, kind of flexing a little bit in the zone as, you know, they can freely run about and not be too worried about any of the opposing players still remaining in this match.
Yeah, it's literally just Chris, and he is right here in the corner with like a meter to spare of that blue zone. It's going to come in any moment now, and he's going to have to move. So either somebody pushes him and maybe he gets a couple of knocks, but either way, I think it's done.
Yeah, and then of course also Nexus just hiding in the corner here. So yeah, now we just need to see, maybe, you know, if these players played well enough, they could, you know, they could maybe try and isolate one of the Immortalz there and put in a few hits. But, you know, it's going to be pretty tough as there's quite a lot of movement between the team here.
Yeah, these players are just hiding in the cracks like scorpions or something here, just hiding away here, not letting Immortalz get wind of them. But, well, it might just be Umar here to scout them out there. Nexus getting spotted, taken down. It's on to Chris. I don't think this is doable. He has so many players from Immortalz still alive. So little room to maneuver here for Chris. He's going to have to try and make his way up this rocky hillside. And, well, not too sure how easy that one is. And as soon as he exposes himself, I think it's done and dusted.
Yep, no, that is going to be pretty tough. And, oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, the Immortalz coming in with 9 kills for that one. Quiet Storm going back empty-handed in 2nd place. Rescue finishing off in 3rd place with 4. Alpha Pack in 4th, empty-handed. Alpha Pack in 5th, finishing off there with 10 kills. Active Gaming coming in with, well, 7 kills for themselves right there. We got the players from Limitless finishing off with 4. We got DarkSide also going home with an empty kill count. The players here in slot 9, they also, well, came in N9. So there they are. Yeah. Finishing off with the 2 kills. Supposedly that is the Liberators 3. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean EFX not really getting in that position that well, we'd hope that they would have gotten.
Yeah. You know, like we were talking about, it's the EFX team, EFX team as we've been corrected, and of course Immortalz out there who've really been putting some serious work in. And the EFX they took some fights early on in this one, and it didn't work out for them because it just so happened that I believe it was the Alpha Pack who rolled up on them, took a fight, and it just didn't go the way that EFX wanted it to go. I think they could have had the potential to go a bit further, but yeah, that fight just didn't go their way, didn't work out for them. They got sent back, and then it was the Immortalz, obviously, to capitalize on that. They went out to win that one pretty strongly, pretty convincingly. They just had to deal with a couple of stragglers all across the board, and well, it was done and dusted pretty much from that time on.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing for them right up into the chicken. And yeah, well done, well played. And, you know, fortunately for them, the zone was in their favor.
Yeah, and the numbers were in their favor too.
Yeah. I mean, managing to get it all the way up into that end with a full team still intact. Bravo.
Well done. GG, well done.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I think on that one, we got to jump up into our intermission quickly while we wait for our fourth and final round to get underway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I'm speaking to you, Petchy.
Like the lights on a fight night. Love hit me like a Mike. You know I'ma get it right. So stay with me. Run away with me. Need like a dope fiend, need dope. Need like a coke fiend, need coke. Even though your heart cold, ski slope. I really hope the song bringing me close.
was wrong, even once wasn't anything. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life. Don't dig deep like you would have a clue. All I see is how I was a fool to see my heart skip beats. Thinking about you. Whoa. I could say that you didn't need what you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. Yeah, I could say that you didn't need any part of me. Yeah, maybe it's not me, you should be the one on your knees. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life. If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life.
what's up, guys? Welcome back. Right, here we go. Fourth and final round about to get underway. Mr. Patchy shaking things up a little bit there on his side, as you can see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's been having a bit of a party, P-A-R or whatever the rest.
T-Y, yes, that's how you spell
There we
party.
But anyways, let's get into the match. Seeing that it has started, and yeah, this is our last one. Here we go.
Woo!
Well, there we go. So the teams that we have in the lobby here, right, again for this round, as you can see, we've got the Immortalz over in slot 2. We've got Active Gaming over in slot 3. We've got Complexity in 5. Rescue in 6. We've got the players there from the YSLMOB over in slot 7. EFX in 8. Quiet Storm in 10. Alpha Pack in 11. T8 in slot 12. The DarkSide over in slot 14. Then, of course, we've got Bravo over in slot 15. Limitless in 16. The team from LxsT in 17. The team there from 69 or 69, sorry, over in slot 19. Alpha Pack 2 in slot 20 and BOKO in slot 22.
Ooh, and we got a nice flight path as well. It's going all the way there from Starbuck, all the way down into the military base. Nice and spicy. Probably going to see some drops going over there, but the real kicker is going to be, of course, decided by where that zone drops. So we're going to see, have a look where that is.
Yes, sir. And as you can see, well, we don't know where it is just yet. We are patiently waiting in anticipation, trying to see where the zone's going to take us. And a few teams already starting to make their way down. We've got Alpha Bank 2 heading straight over towards what seems to be Severny. And a few other teams slowly but surely making their way down.
Yeah, teams are going to be dropping into all of their favorite spots as per usual. Interesting to see some of the teams really holding it out, potentially looking for that military base. Maybe the Immortalz will drop in that spot. It looks like they're gearing up to go there, which is nice to see. So we'll see if they do indeed head over in that direction, or if they maybe go over across somewhere else. We will see. But for the moment, a lot of teams actually dropping down here towards the military base, a choice that I certainly appreciate. And yeah, I guess we'll see how this pans out for all the teams that are dropping now here towards this military base. We're going to be up close and personal with the Immortalz.
Yeah, well, let's jump over to Yasnaya, where you can see we've got a few teams already on the ground making their way around, and hopefully, you know, yeah, we'll see those shots. You can see T8, the players from EFX, and of course then the players there from the Alpha Pack just putting those hits in, putting those shots in, and yeah, we're just waiting to see what the zone's going to do.
Yeah, it's always an interesting question to see what the zone does, because of course that zone can do pretty much whatever it likes. It can go wherever it likes and really force players to rotate up. So it is going to be up here towards the western side of the map. A couple of teams already inside that zone. Pertinent to, of course, note that the military base does form a part of that first zone, so these teams can make their way up into that little area there. Nothing too crazy, but actually it's the Immortalz who are going to start things off with putting some hits into the other teams there. Very nice. BOKO going to get hit.
Yep, a quick hit and thirst right there on the spot. Ooh, let's see, will Mr. Arbaz be the last one? When is he going to be sent back into the lobby? MFB now, of course, trying to get those hits in. So they are definitely on the hunt, trying to get those shots. And you can see the remainder of the lobby is also looking pretty crazy, as there are several teams and several players very close together.
Yeah. Couple of teams up there in Yasnaya, of course, a couple of teams just down to the south of that mainland there. Plenty of teams on the island itself, and honestly, it is no surprise to me right now that the Immortalz have started off strong once again and really performed quite consistently throughout this evening's matches. You know, I would really expect that of, you know, some of these teams that are playing in some other leagues that, of course, we're a part of, that they've been doing some really hectic stuff, and they've been part of some really insane, you know, insanely high skill sort of competition. So it's no surprise that they're really doing the work right now, continuing to put the hits in, of course, towards BOKO. Some great stuff.
No surprise.
It is no surprise.
These teams doing a lot of damage. Yeah, that was a horrible accent. I know. But yeah, we're waiting to see what's going to happen here with EFX and the players, of course, they're from T8. They are yet again very, very close together. Mr. Alucard slowly but surely closing in. Now we just wait to see that, you know, what's going to happen. Some interesting comments also in the chat there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to go and take a peek at that in a bit. But for the moment, we're gonna take a quick little peek and see what's going on this map here instead.
Ooh, the DarkSide putting those hits into complexity. There we go, there we go. Some action. And we also see two teams over there at the Nova crates.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent spot to be in. You know, they do have this spot inside of zone. They're pretty much uncontested. Like, the majority of the zone is basically empty. The teams still have to make their way in, and that means lots of funneling, and that also means that the DarkSide is going to be putting some grands in there towards complexity.
Yep, and Benzo now trying to land a few hits in as the DarkSide now starts closing in on him. Ooh, down goes Puppy. Silence. Now, right there, trying to silence Benzo. Benzo putting those hits in, gets the hit in on Silence. Well, nicely done. That is almost what you would call the sound of silence, but Gunmatic pops around the corner just to say hi, and yeah, of course, sends the players there for complexity right back into that lobby.
Yeah, and well, that leaves us with 14 teams on the board already, so some decent damage done at the moment here in this final map. And it's a pretty good start, but at the moment I'm just waiting to see these teams rotate in, because as soon as they start to do that, we're going to see the clustering happening up towards the north and, of course, the east. And that's really where the fights and the majority of the chaos is probably going to be. So we'll see if we'll see how that happens. Of course, the teams could still make the decision to rotate in a little bit earlier, maybe make it in towards those unoccupied spots of inside the zone, and maybe just get a little bit comfortable before stuff hits the fan. Or if they'll just wait it out, as we see, you know, a couple of maps ago, you know, just play it slow and really rotate up in that last minute.
Oh well, we'll see what happens in the coming zone, and well, we might see a little bit of action between the players here from Bravo and, of course, the team there from Alpha Pack 2 all the way up in the north. So maybe, just maybe, Mr. Willis will get some more shots in.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll find some buildings pretty soon too, so we can see him close those doors, make sure everything's sitting nice and tidy. Of course, we wouldn't want those doors to remain open. That's just not good manners here, and Willis will put an end to that immediately as soon as he sees those open doors. Got to close them, of course. We'll see if that does indeed happen. The rest of the teams just spread out in a bit of a crescent moon across the board from top to bottom, still off towards outside of that zone. They have to get their way in there. So we'll see, you know, pretty much how long it's going to take them to rotate, because that's really going to determine the pace of this match right here.
Yeah, well, and the players there from Rescue, we've got them all the way down over in South George. So they're quite comfortable in their position. No need to move up just yet. No one there to contest their position. They can just loot it up in, you know, with all the time in the world. Because I don't think we're going to see any teams really moving up into that direction anytime soon. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's the zone is playing very slow, right? So it's headed over towards the west. All the players drop towards the east, but they're not rotating up, right? Which means the pace of the game is super slow. None of them have really taken the initiative to be super aggressive. We've seen EFX do it in the past, but ultimately, you know, if they don't decide to pull the trigger and no one else decides to pull the trigger, then it's sort of just a bit of a lull. You know, everyone just sits around. It's a bit meh. But you know, we're basically, the pace is determined by the first person to just do something.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I mean, talking about doing something, we can see the team here from EFX. They're now slowly but surely moving up towards where we see these players of T8. So maybe if they continue on their path, we might see them just moving up right in towards that region and, you know, maybe put in the shots. But for now, it remains unknown as to where the players here from T8 will be going.
Yeah. We'll see where it is they decide to move up to. And it's interesting to see that the teams are moving sort of up and down the perimeter of the zone. Obviously, that first blue zone, it does take a while to come in. But ultimately, you know, the teams have a bit of free real estate to work with. And they just need to sort of get wind of that and maybe make use of it. Because right now, they're limiting themselves really to where it is they can move. So unless they decide to take a fight, they're kind of just hovering around for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, well, speaking about hovering, we've got the Immortalz moving in, and they're slowly but surely approaching the players here from 6-9. So maybe we might just see a few more shots coming in from that side now. So that might be our next little angle of action as Mr. Wally is making his way up. You can see Reborn just off in the distance there. So we're waiting to see now if these shots are going to start ringing through as they start rotating up. They might be on the approach for that bridge, quickly risking it, just running past Reborn. Ooh, there we go. T8 and Alpha Pack now putting those hits in. Let's see if we can jump up into that action as Alpha Pack is now closing in. You can see T8 just out in the open here. Same going for Alpha Pack. Up they come. Zeke, Waza, Trigger, and JVD right there with them. Whoa! That was a Zeke and Destroy move right there. Well done.
Yeah, some nice fights happening across here. And the teams, you know, being in such close proximity can really put those hits in. T8 getting hammered now. Of course, Alpha Pack putting in the hits. But DarkSide also just over here could potentially put some shots in. And a lot of teams now rotating just below them as well could potentially be in a little bit of danger. Of course, the you know, Active Gaming here off towards the side as well could potentially put some hits in. So, you know, it's based on these slow rotates that we've seen here for the reasoning of these teams being so close and really being able to put the crossfire in.
Yeah, no, that is true. And we're seeing the players there from the Immortalz getting hit now. Ooh.
Woo!
Yeah, I wanted to say nice and woo at the same time, so it came out as new. Yeah. Let's jump over here to the players from LxsT. They're putting some hits in over towards Active Gaming. There we go. Active Gaming with a bit of a reply there. Ted Bundy getting that quick hit in on Mr. Looney. That was a little bit crazy there. Agony, of course, now trying to move that vehicle up closer and closer. Nihal now looking quite excited there that Looney got knocked out. But this is, of course, the same spot right next to this little bush here where we had our hide-and-go-seek champion.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
that was great. I remember that spot. That was absolutely legend. That was a legendary moment right there. I'm never going to forget that one. Honestly, I wish we could just go back and get a clip of that because that was so nice to watch. But in any case, what else is nice to watch is the assault coming out here from Active Gamers. They're putting in those hits, pushing just over the crest here. Can they put the rest of the shots in? They can. Will they land, though? That is the question. Yes, they will. Active Gaming take them out.
Well, Ted Bundy kind of soloed that whole thing there. He just moved in, put in those hits, and yeah, off he went, just saying, well, thank you for coming, but yeah, you're mine now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we know Ted Bundy's KD, so it's pretty heavy, not gonna lie. So we out here, you know, he's out here doing the work, and in the meantime, you know, the Alpha Pack also putting in a bit of work.
Yeah, well, I was laughing because you said Tinder. So that was quite funny. But Mr. Biscuit, you know, risking it there, trying to move up, get that vehicle, just popping a quick one over towards Alpha Pack. Is now, let's see, is he going to try and rush them? Yes, Solo Man rushing right up into the compound. Wow, this guy is brave.
Yeah.
Well, the other alternative, of course, being, well, complete the sentence. Okay. He's either hella brave or...
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
well, kudos for the attempt there. Nonetheless, he tried to move in to get those shots. Not succeeding, but I mean, it was worth a shot.
Yeah. Sometimes you've just got to lay down the gauntlet, you know, just do it, do what you got to do, put the hits in, and you know, whether it goes your way or not is another question entirely. So right now we're going to be seeing, of course, the Alpha Pack maybe just putting a couple of hits in there, I believe. A couple of teams just across the board here, just going to be really sending the hits in, and I think the time to rotate is pretty much now. because that blue zone is making its way in. Everything is kind of getting crowded, and you need to secure your spot. This isn't as big as Miramar, so you don't really have so much room to maneuver. I mean, it's there, but like, it's not the greatest. And Ted Bundy is continuing his record here, just exploding some vehicles.
Yeah, and they're putting these hits into the players here from the YSLMOB. So they are absolutely getting slaughtered here. EfXGaming doing some impressive work, and Ted Bundy goes for it once again. I mean, this man is unstoppable. He's sitting on 7 kills. All the kills for his squad. He's the one that has kind of brought them in.
Wow. That's yeah, that's a bit of a wow there. In any case, a couple of teams going to be already inside that zone. Immortalz actually going to be taking a little bit of damage. Of course, the 6-9 squad there, right across from them in that bridge area there. Obviously, the Immortalz going to have to push up this one if they want to get inside the zone. And it seems like the 6-9 squad have sort of taken a stand here. They're like, nah, we know the Immortalz are on the other side of this bridge, and we do not want to let them go. Maybe testing the limits of the Immortalz here, really seeing what it is they can do and how they react. And at this point, you know, it's a good strategy, because if you want to take down a team that has the confidence, that has the skill, then you need the skill. But if you have the skill, you also need the confidence. So yeah, definitely going to be one of those things to really challenge. And if you can do so, you really have a good shot. You know, a lot of teams, they don't perform as well as they can just because they don't have the confidence, you know. And if you really step up that confidence, you can definitely do a lot of cool things. In the meantime, though, Immortalz is going to be coming out on top of a couple of fights. They're putting the hits in. The rest of the teams that are in towards the east going to be making their way slowly in towards the zone. Looks like DarkSide is going to be moving around just close by. So 6-9 and the Immortalz, when they finish their fight, they're going to have to contend with DarkSide as well.
Well, we'll see how this, of course, then unfolds for these teams, as everyone is just on the side here trying to get the hits and, you know, trying to get those thirsts going. But, I mean, yeah, the Immortalz, now they've spotted, well, they've gotten that first hit on the 6-9. Now they're trying to figure out where the rest of them is, and Mr. Coco getting taken down, MFB also getting hit, Wally and Sahil now also just moving up bit by bit. And the last remaining player here for 6-9 caught in a bit of a tough position. But this is where we'll see what approach they're going to take. And, you know, maybe the Immortalz might get these final few hits in.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how this one pans out. The Immortalz, for the moment, having just crossed that bridge a little bit, making themselves a little bit more comfortable. But they will have to decide how they decide to, well, of course they'll decide how they decide, but they will have to decide how they rotate up into this one. It is going to be a decision that needs to be made, because if they move up straight in there, they will be headed off by the DarkSide there. Of course, so rotating around will definitely be beneficial. But right now they're taking the fight against 6-9 here. And, well, they seem to be winning it out for the moment.
Yeah, so far so good. And let's see, will they be able to continue this trend as they now try and close in? And Sahil sneaks a quick shot off of the top of the hill there. So pretty well done, well played.
Yeah, GG, well done, as it were. Immortalz going to be now free to make their way up. And, well, most of the teams now sitting pretty comfortably inside that zone. We've got 10 teams left on the board, 37 players remaining. And, well, there's a decent amount of space in between them. So really what they're going to be waiting for is any stray rotates, maybe take them out, and then they will, of course, be waiting for that zone to just squeeze the players in once again and get those fights going once again.
Yeah, well, let's see what's going to happen as, yeah, well, the players there from EfXGaming not too far away, just there on the edge. And, you know, just trying to get those hits in. So let's see, maybe they'll rotate up in towards that Alpha Pack team, or maybe even we might see the DarkSide now, of course, sneaking in a quick few shots as well.
Yeah, who knows, who knows. At the moment, the Immortalz are caught in the blue zone. They will just have to move their way up as soon as they can. The rest of the team, of course, activity there, getting up. And right past the players from Alpha Pack, potentially a couple of hits going to be exchanged there as they try and make their way up into the zone, which has dropped all the way on towards the west there. Going to be headed down towards that side, and nobody really inside there already, so the teams will all have to make their way up as quickly as possible to try and secure those spots. And Quiet Storm going to be putting in a couple of hits in the meantime as well.
Here we go. Ooh, look at this zone though. EFX right there with Quiet Storm. We've got Limitless right next to the players, of course, there that we were just watching rotate up in towards zone. So yeah, I mean, EfXGaming might get a little bit of competition as they now try and make their approach.
Yeah,
EFX though. Oh, Quiet Storm just relentless with their shot. Grenade after grenade after grenade just coming in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just ooh. Wow, Quiet Storm actually really putting in the damage here. EFX going to be under some serious fire here. Max just trying to peek over the edge of this boulder here to try and get the hits in. Can EFX survive this one? I'm not too sure. Max getting the drop on to Horus. It's going to be a difficult spot here for EFX. Quiet Storm really putting the hurt in.
Yep. No, that is definitely the case. And Sully and Bait now deciding it's maybe better to run into the red zone than stay around and try and battle it out with the players there from Quiet Storm. As you can see, both of the players now making their way down right up in towards that zone, which is a little bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, I've never seen players rotate into the red zone before. Usually it's the opposite way around. But hey, I mean, tactical decisions be as it may, you know, there we go. They rotated into the red zone. We'll see if it works out for them. I'm not too sure. For them, in the meantime, of course, Alphapack going to be putting in the hits. EfXGaming going to be also returning the favor. And all the teams there towards the center of the zone going to be playing for contention for that decent spot. As another drop actually landing pretty close by as well, could potentially entice some players towards it.
Well, it might definitely be an interesting turn of events as these teams, of course, now start putting these hits across right in towards each other. As the team there from EfXGaming are just putting in hit after hit. Alphapack caught out in the open here, so let's see. Well, we also have the players there from Limitless over towards the eastern side.
Yep, so this is about to become pretty crowded despite the fact there is pretty decent space on the board. Everyone's just sort of getting in there towards a very similar spot. They're like, yeah, this is a place that we like to be and we're just going to roll up here. It doesn't really matter. So at least we're going to see some action probably pretty soon.
Ooh. Mr. JVD, of course, not getting left behind and active. Just rolling up into a zone. Some shots flying right over towards the meatballs there. Hit after hit, it is an absolute chorus of gunshots. Wowzers. Let's see, will Razla get that hit in with the Mini 14? He's got his eyeballs on the meatballs there, so let's see what will happen.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. The shot's not really landing at the moment, just a bit of pressure being exerted there. The meatballs not getting fried today, just going to be hiding, trying to stay alive as long as possible. It is going to be JVD who gets taken down in the meantime, though the rest of the team nowhere nearby to help. And, well, now we've seen a little bit of an interesting setup here. Most of the teams concentrated towards the southern portion of the zone. And no one's in exact close proximity at the moment, but there's definitely a lot of potential. And as this blue zone starts to make its way in, of course, the new zone getting chosen, that's really going to determine where these players decide to rotate up. And that's really going to, you know, determine exactly where the fights are going to take place across the map.
Yeah, well, let's see. And there we go with the next zone now moving up. Now, the last 10 remaining players, or teams rather, needing to make their way up into the zone. We see the team there from Rez already in zone. Alphapack 2 also right there. EfXGaming also pretty much in zone, aside from Mr. Meatballs, who's trying to survive here as the shots now start flying in. He's avoiding the one team from the one side. Yeah, that, of course, being the players there from Limitless, and now the DarkSide also put in a few hits, and up comes the team here from Bravo, just rushing into what is left of the EfXGaming team.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ted Bunde.
He's been doing such good work in this match today, really just putting in the hits, getting all of the kills. We'll see if they can survive the onslaught here. Bravo not looking in such a good spot. They're all going to be rolling up. There come the hits. And, well, Willis's door closing days for this match are over.
Yep. There we go. So well done. Ooh. EFX Bait getting knocked out, flinging himself. So, yeah, there we go. Just signifying this match for us there. Getting taken out by, well, by the blue zone. So the blue zone being absolutely relentless. Let's see, will Sully make it? Ooh.
No, I think it's done there.
He's trying to wrap it up. Will he be able to cover it up in time?
Ooh. He just managed to survive that one by a hair, just tiny bit of pixels there left for his health bar, but he managed to get it back up and potentially get his way in. And the resilience from FX or EFX is definitely gonna help them out a little bit in terms of placement. Potentially, you know, any other team would have probably given up there, but you know, the resilience is great to see. So that's always nice, and potentially they can make it in. Get a couple more placement points, maybe get a couple of shots in there. But in the meantime, of course, we're going to be seeing some fights happening at the Immortalz now, putting in some shots into the alpha pack.
Yeah, into the alpha pack.
Yeah.
Because the shots flying in. The Immortalz, of course, right on the side here, trying to get the
Okay, buddy.
Alpha pack just off in distance, and rescue also coming in just off on the edge. Alpha pack 1 and 2 battling it out. Who is the alpha pack? Well, maybe alpha pack 2. Well, yep, no, there we go. They just shot the wizard out of this team. Off they go, and yeah, sending them right back into the lobby. That was pretty quick though, I must say. I mean,
yeah.
they just pulled up, they got in that vehicle, and that was it. It's like, boom, thank you for coming. You know, so
yeah.
then Alpha Pack was told by Alpha Pack 2 that they are also right here and ready to put some shots in. The Immortalz, of course, now being super aggro, trying to land those hits on the dark side. Let's see, will Wally be able to get it? They are sitting on 6 kills collectively. Yes, well, let's see. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. It makes no sense, but whatever, let's just keep going. Up comes Silence, rolling up right next to the players, of course. They are from EFX. Oh, there we go. Cobra and Gunmatic just patiently waiting on the bike there. DarkSide coming in. Quiet Storm also now getting involved there. Shots flying up from all directions. The Immortalz also trying to pick off a few as DarkSide is now sneaking up right here behind the players here from EFX.
Yeah, the spot here from Quiet Storm is pretty good at the moment. They've got themselves set up pretty decently here in the zone, and they're just waiting for the teams to roll up and basically just putting a couple of pot shots in their direction, you know, just trying to put the hits in, trying to get some damage onto the teams, maybe just discourage them from approaching any further. You know, a lot of the teams now just having to make that decision to rotate up the zone, of course, being all the way in the northeast is going to mean that all of the teams, including DarkSide, Active, Immortalz, and the Alpha Pack, and even Sully from EFX going to have to make their way in. Now Sully going to find his spot up there towards the north, and right here we're going to see EFX just dancing around with the DarkSide, maybe trying to put the hits in his call. Of course, it's Ted Bundy. He's going to be doing some work as per usual.
Yep. No surprise whatsoever. 12 kills. Hot diggity dog, Mr. Bundy there. Just raking in some kills. I mean, he's doing an amazing job for his team, though.
Yeah, really living up to his name there. Just seriously putting the hits in. At the moment now, the rest of the teams, of course, making their way in. It's the Immortalz moving up from the south, putting themselves in towards that zone. Actually going to be coming right up against Rescue here. Potentially going to be fighting the team as they roll on up, maybe fighting for that spot in the zone, secure themselves in this position. It's going to be Rescue to maybe just respond and try and scout out and see what's going on with the Immortalz, see if they can put the hits in. The Grens start to fly now. You can see this assault.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty good matchup between these two teams as they now start putting those hits in. Up comes the EFX team once again. Mr. Ted Bundy now also closing in for some more action, and of course you can see the players from Alpha Pack 2 just over towards the north. In comes that zone. Oh, Quiet Storm taking a bit of damage. Now we're just waiting to see what is going to happen. Who will wrap it up? Up comes the EFX once again. Ooh, man, this is just wow. Oh, someone killed the mojo. So Rescue down to their last 2. The Immortalz also sitting on 2 players. We've got Wally and Sahil. The team there from EFX still moving in. They are not done just yet. And Alpha Pack 2 now. Darth Vader right there behind the vehicle in the smoke. Seroshin also just there. Let's see, will Shame be able to get any of those hits in? Ted Bundy now moving up. Oh, this is where it's going to get lit. You can see EFX also just here. It seems like Sully now is the last remaining player. Quiet Storm still on a pretty good full squad there. Ooh, down goes Crazy. Oh,
Yeah.
Darth Vader goes down.
This is very interesting. We've actually got quite an interesting setup here between these teams because there is in fact a little bit of a river going on separating the sort of land masses where the teams are situated. Rez is on the one side. Across from them is of course EfX and of course Limitless. We have Sully just sitting on a little island by himself. We have QST off to the side, and well, Sully's actually putting in the hits, which is nice to see. You know, despite the fact that there's only one player remaining on that team, EFX still doing the damage, still trying to make something happen.
There we go. Shame. Being absolutely shameless, putting those hits in one after the other. Now they're moving up on the Immortalz. Will they get those hits? Yes, and they do. Well done to rescue. Active Gamer is now caught in the blue zone. They're now trying to make it up in towards the zone. The players there from Limitless to greet them. Oh, Dead Bondi goes down. We got Daryl now staring down the barrel of a few teams, and of course they get sent right into the lobby. So Limitless taking them down. We are left with 5 teams. Well, scratch that, make it 4. We've got Alpha Pack, EFX, Quiet Storm, and Limitless.
Yeah, this is a very difficult spot to be in. You can see everyone just falling left, right, and center. And we have 3 teams remaining. And this is why I said earlier on that the resilience from Sully here, from EFX, is such an important factor. So many teams in their spot would have just given up, let the blue zone just take them. But Sully, he sticks it out. He manages to get that just tiny bit of healing in, make sure he can get out of that zone. And, well, he secured a top 3 spot for EFX, which is huge for them, considering they almost got completely wiped out there. So a really good spot for them, of course. Of course, QST looking really, really good on top of this little hill there. They've got a nice spot and potentially could take this one for themselves if they don't get caught out.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. And Mr. Sully now... Well, he needs to start try and find a, he needs to move up in towards zone and try and find a good spot to sit in. Seeing that he is the last one left, the zone's closing in 10 seconds time. He is up against 6 other players. So, well, maybe he might just sit around and wait for the players there from Limitless and, of course, Quiet Storm to put those hits in towards each other. Quiet Storm still on a full squad as they now move in. Let's see, will Sully be able to get it done?
Yeah, he's going to have to pick the perfect opportune moment here because, of course, it is QST moving up on Limitless. They're going to start putting their hits in. It's Max to drop first, Razla following soon after as the hits just going back and forth between these 2 teams. Sully now taking full advantage, putting the hits straight across, trying to do the job. And, well, there goes Limitless. It's Sully and Quiet Storm remaining, but Sully can still do some damage. Never mind, he gets taken straight out. They find him, they put the hits in, and it's done and dusted. But I mean, Sully single-handedly putting EFX in that second spot.
Yeah, that was a pretty insane play, though, I must say.
Yeah.
Sneaking up in towards that zone, coming in with those third parties and just landing those hits. I mean, you know, he didn't necessarily get the kills that he was hoping for, but still, I mean, those hits that still came in. And, well, it paid off. He got 3 kills for his team. And, you know, they finished off with 4. They're in second place. Quiet Storm coming in with 7 kills. Chicken dinner, not too bad. Limitless finishing in with 3 kills in third place. Alpha Pack with 3 kills in fourth place. And, of course, the players there from Rescue coming in fifth place with their 4 kills. And then, of course, Active Gaming finishing their play off with 17 kills. Ted Bunde. 12 kills.
That's nuts, man. That's just like those are the kind of numbers that you expect from an entire squad, and this man has them just on himself.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
Yep, I can't argue with you on that one, and yeah, pretty well done to them for that. The Immortalz coming in there in 7th place, finishing off with 7 kills. I see a bit of a trend happening here. DarkSide finishing off in 8th place with 4 kills. Alpha Pack, Alpha Pack 1 going out in, 9th place with 4 kills. And then we've got the players there from Bravo in 10th place with 0 kills. We've got the players from 6-9 in 11th with 1 kill. We've got the team there from LxsT, I think it is, in 12th place, empty-handed. T8, 13th, empty-handed. We got, I think the YSLMOB this is, maybe. Nihal, Agony, and Looney in 14th place. They were 0 kills. Complexity in 15th with 1. And BOKO getting sent back to the lobby first.
Yeah,
so there we go. There we have it.
A very interesting match that we had there. Some nice stuff, and it's really nice to see a match where there are a lot of players and a lot of teams that have notable performances and praiseworthy performances. You know, we saw, for instance, Ted getting those 12 kills there. That is really, really great. You know, despite the fact that they didn't come in at the top of the lobby, you know, they still came out with so many frags. You know, that's a decent amount of points for them. Of course, well played to Quiet Storm there for coming in with that chicken dinner. You know, really well played to Sully for, of course, getting his team to second place single-handedly. So, you know, just a lot of noteworthy plays across the board. You know, a Rescue taking out Immortalz, you know, just all across the board, some really, really nice stuff, some great fighting, and yeah, a great set of matches to watch tonight. So a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah, no, that was definitely quite entertaining and quite amazing to watch, and we saw some crazy stuff happening with these teams. And yeah, once again, well done to all the teams, and yeah, thanks for all the action that we had. And yeah, there was some other action also happening in the 3 other lobbies that we got going. If anyone was wondering, we had 84 teams registering for today, registering for Mettlestate Open Series. So hopefully, if all goes well, next week we should maybe be watching the players from Group 2. You know, as we did Group 1 this week. Yeah, planning on then potentially going into Group 2 next week, Group 3 after, and yeah, we just need to see how that's going to work exactly, which way around we're going to wing it. But yeah, well done nonetheless to the players here from Group 1. Some amazing performances we had there, and yeah, some crazy kills.
Yeah, expecting some cool stuff to happen as we go forward, of course, and maybe we'll see some spicy stuff in the rest of the groups, and hopefully it will culminate in some very strong teams coming out on top of this one.
Yeah, and then of course, don't forget, Wednesday is Pro Series, so be sure to tune in for Pro Series, same time, same place.
Different day.
Yeah, you won't be watching radio. Everything will be working fine. But thank you for everyone that stuck around all the way up to here. Hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and yeah, we shall see you back again on Wednesday when we continue with the Pro Series.
Yeah.
There we go. So before I press all the buttons, I just realized I almost pressed the wrong button there to go into, you know, all the loveliness. But anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna keep quiet, and yeah, off we go. Whee!
You all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves.